During the Bronze Age, this story was passed to the Hittites, who rendered the succession of the gods myth, or theogony, in several different stories that span from 1600 to 1200 BCE. The kingship of heaven and the song of Kumarbi share some similarities with Hesiod's theogony in their portrayal of divine origins and establishment of order. Both theogony and the Hittite creation myths present genealogies of the gods, tracing their lineage and relationships. They describe a hierarchy of deities and their interactions, the succession of power, and the emergence of a supreme god. Both traditions feature primordial deities who exist before the creation of the world. Just like Chaos and Gaia are among the initial entities, the Hittites have Alalu and Anu and Kumarbi, who represent these primordial beings. While in theogony, the Titans rebel, in the Hittite mythology, Kumarbi struggle against Anu, which eventually leads to the rise of the storm god Teshub. Both traditions address the theme of succession and power. Zeus emerges as the supreme ruler of the gods, while in Hittite mythology, Teshub becomes the chief deity after overcoming Kumarbi, who parallels Kronos. Teshub assumes the kingship in heaven. Both traditions describe how the gods shape the universe, assign roles and domains to different deities, and bring order from chaos. Hesiod's theogony also has many parallels to the Egyptian creation myths. Etched on the walls of the city of Heliopolis, dated to around 2000 BCE, is a similar creation account that looks similar to Hesiod and this Egyptian creation myth, the process of cosmic creation. They explain how the world came into existence and how order was established from chaos. This is the common thread through all of these creation stories that existed in this time period. While Chaos and Gaia are among these initial deities in theogony, it's Atum or Amon and Nun who represent the primeval beings in the Egyptian creation account that's etched on the walls of Heliopolis. In theogony, Hesiod describes how the gods, through their words, bring about the birth and organization of the cosmos. Similarly, in the Egyptian creation myths, the universe is believed to have been spoken into existence by the gods through their words or thoughts. Both narratives highlight the active involvement of gods in the creation of the world. They portray gods as creators, shapers, and organizers of the cosmos. Both theogony and the Egyptian Genesis depict the transformation of chaos into order. They present the gods' efforts to establish stability and harmony in the universe, or Ma'at as the Egyptians call it, organizing elements and assigning roles to different deities. Another theogony from the ancient world, known as the Phoenician history, attributed to a Bronze Age priest named Sanchoniathon from Beirut. And like Hesiod's theogony, it describes a hierarchy of deities and their interactions, highlighting the succession of power and the emergence of the supreme god. Both traditions feature primordial deities who exist before the creation of the world. Like Chaos, Gaia, and Aranos, the Phoenician creation myth includes El, the Semitic word for God, which is also the same word used in the Hebrew Bible for the one true God, along with other titles like the Yod-He Vav-He and Adonai. Both narratives depict the conflicts and struggles among the gods that shape the world and establish order. In theogony, the Titans rebel against Aranos, and the later Olympians battle against the Titans. In the Phoenician myth, El and his offspring battle against the primordial gods that came before him. El sacrifices his firstborn, only begotten son, Yehud, as an offering to Aranos, his father in heaven, and then circumcises himself and makes this a custom among the Phoenicians from that day forward. It is believed that this story is retold in the Old Testament, book of Genesis, with Abraham offering his son Isaac as an offering to El, the same name, but is stopped by an angel. And like the Phoenician myth, Abraham also circumcises himself and makes this a custom among the Hebrews. Both Hesiod and Sanchoniathon tradition address the theme of succession and divine power. They portray a transfer of authority from the older generations to the younger ones. In Theogony, Zeus emerges as the supreme ruler of the gods. In the Phoenician myth, El is succeeded by his other son, Dagon, who then becomes the chief ruler of the Phoenicians. And like the other myths that came afterwards, the Phoenician cosmology in Theogony describes how the gods shape the universe and bring order from chaos. Pherecydes of Syros, pre-Socratic Ionian philosopher in the 6th century BCE, was said to have received a cosmological creation story from the Phoenicians who he studied under. This particular rendering of the Phoenician creation seems to be slightly different from what Sanchoniathon laid down, and was attributed to the legendary Pelasgians who inhabited the Aegean long before the Greeks and Mycenaeans. Like Hesiod's Theogony, it presents genealogical accounts of the gods and tracing their lineage and relationships. It describes a succession of deities, often in a hierarchical structure. Both traditions feature primordial deities who exist before the creation of the world. In Theogony, it's Chaos and Ouranos and Gaia among the three initial entities, while in the fragments of Pherecydes, it's Kronos, Zos, and Chthoni. Both narratives touch upon conflicts among the gods that shape the world and establish order. In Theogony, the Titans rebel against Ouranos, and later the Olympians against the Titans. In Pherecydes' Theogony, there are references to struggles among the gods, Zos overthrowing Kronos, and Kronos overthrowing Ophion. Both traditions address the theme of succession in power. They portray a transfer of authority from the older generations to the younger ones. Zeus emerges as the supreme ruler of the gods. The Derveni Papyrus is an ancient Greek manuscript that was discovered in 1962 during excavations in Derveni, a suburb of Thessaloniki in Greece. It is considered one of the most important archaeological finds relating to ancient Greek religious and philosophical beliefs, believed to date back to the 4th century BCE, and is the oldest surviving text and physical copy in Europe in world history. The papyrus contains a philosophical treatise written in Greek, addressing various cosmological and religious topics. It discusses the nature of the gods, the origins of the universe, the role of sacrifices and rituals, and the interpretation of religious texts and myths. One of the notable aspects of the Derveni Papyrus is its commentary on an earlier poem attributed to Orpheus, a legendary figure in ancient Greek mythology, a son of Apollo and the high priest of Dionysus, said to be the teacher of a man named Musaeus, who later historians say is possibly Moses. He was called Orpheus the Theologian, the revealer of the heavens. Commentary provides an allegorical interpretation of this poem, discussing its cosmogonic and theogonic themes. The Derveni Papyrus is significant because it provides valuable insights into the religious and philosophical beliefs of ancient Greeks during the late classical period. It offers a glimpse into the ways in which ancient Greeks interpreted their myths and religious practices, and it sheds light on the development, philosophical, and cosmological thought. Both texts delve into cosmological concepts, seeking to explain the origins of the universe and the nature of the gods. They explore the relationship between the divine, the natural world, and human existence. Both texts contain theogonic narratives describing the genealogies and relationships of the gods. They present accounts of the succession of divine powers and the establishment of cosmic order. Both texts engage in the interpretation of the myths, seeking deeper meaning and symbolism. Hesiod's Theogony provided a foundation for later philosophical and cosmological inquiries. The Derveni Papyrus, with its philosophical treatise and allegorical interpretation, reflects the philosophical interests of the time.